Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to another episode, number 79. Another lesson, excuse me. If I can
Yeah.
forget which episodes we're doing, I'm like a week ahead, and so it's all jumbled up and blah. That's why I started putting that shit on the calendar. Um, so we're back this week with a serial killer who honestly reminds me of a movie. But this case is like worse than a movie, especially because this guy hasn't been caught.
Mm,
At least as far as we know, this person hasn't been caught.
right.
The West Mesa bone collectors' crime started back in 2001. However, they would not be uncovered until 2009.
Damn.
Yeah. And like I just said, this is about the West Mesa bone collector.
Okay.
You ever see Bone Collector with Denzel Washington and Queen Latifah?
Yes.
My God, one of my favorite movies, hands down. Exactly what I think of every time I run across this topic. So, in 2006, housing developers began to spread out into the desert on the West Mesa of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. However, when the 2008 housing bubble collapsed, building was halted. Before long, neighbors began to complain of flooding around the area, prompting the developer to build a retaining wall that would channel rainwater into a retention pond.
Mm,
Right where they were about to get a big fucking surprise.
bunch of bodies.
February 2nd, 2009, Christine Ross was out walking her dog. It's always somebody walking their dog or a fucking jogger. You ever notice that?
It's because
I don't
dogs are
trust
like, what is
joggers.
that?
See, dogs I completely understand, but joggers, I don't fucking trust joggers. They always be finding people's shit too. Mm-mm. Um, they came across a human bone. She wasn't quite sure that it was a human bone, so she took a picture of it and messaged her sister, who was a nurse, who confirmed that it was in fact a human leg bone.
Oh boy.
Once police arrived at the scene and started to investigate, they uncovered the remains of 11 women and girls.
Mm,
They ranged from 15 to 32 years old. Many were Hispanic and involved in sex work. They all disappeared between May of 2003 and September of 2004. On
well, it's a man they're looking for.
right. Yeah, most likely. I mean, I wouldn't put it past a woman to do this,
Yeah.
but and this is literally just going off of 19 seasons of Criminal Minds. Doesn't feel like something a woman would do.
Right.
Um, but then again, there's a possibility because when it comes to how they died, we don't really know, which I will get to.
Maybe she was like jealous of her man, like going out and meeting all these other women.
I mean, it could have been that. It could have been somebody who's like an angel of mercy type, like
Hmm.
taking in all these sex workers to try and help them, and then they just kill them.
Right.
I don't know. Who knows? We don't fucking know.
Yeah.
On December 9th, 2010, 6 photos were released of possible victims who could be tied to the case. 3 of those would be identified, with one having died of natural causes, and the other 2 were alive and well.
Hmm.
Police do believe that the bodies were all buried by the same person or people, though no official suspects have ever been named. That doesn't mean there aren't persons of interest. There are people of interest, just no official suspects.
Right.
Also in 2010, a $100,000 reward was offered for information that would lead to the arrest and conviction of whoever was responsible. A few men have caught the attention of investigators, though none have been named as suspects. Fred Reynolds was one who was a pimp and knew one of the missing women. However, he died in January of 2009 from natural causes. Lorenzo Montoya is another man of interest due to his proximity to the site and his previous criminal record. He lived less than 3 miles from the burial site, and in 2006, there were allegedly trails on satellite images that led from his trailer to the site.
Hmm.
He had been arrested twice for assaulting sex workers and had even threatened to kill his girlfriend and bury her in lime.
Damn.
Which, the minute you threaten to kill me and bury me in lime, one, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you because who the fuck do you think you are? Two, also ex girlfriend at that point. What?
Yeah.
Coworkers also stated he talked about killing women and burying them on the West Mesa. However, they would not get to investigate this further because Montoya was killed in December of 2006 by Frederick Williams. Williams was the boyfriend to 19-year-old Sharika Hall, who was a sex worker. Montoya strangled and killed Sharika, which led to Frederick shooting and killing him as he was trying to put her body in his trunk.
Mm.
So I think that's a pretty valid suspect right there, even though he wasn't
Yeah.
named a suspect. I think that's a pretty valid suspect since he was literally
Caught in the act.
strangled a sex worker and was putting her in his trunk to take her where, sir?
Right.
Where? And it's believed that um, the crimes took place between 2001 and 2006. So,
Hmm.
and he was killed in December of 2006. During the investigation into this killing, police stated they did not believe this was the first time Montoya had killed someone due to the brutality of this murder. They also believe that the killing stopped around this time as well, though whether that is because Montoya was the killer or because the real killer had to find a new dump site, we may never know.
Right.
Um, and I trigger warning for necrophilia. I guess it's real quick, so you can skip through hit the skip button like twice and it'll be over. When investigators went to search his home, they found a homemade video. According to the police, the first part of the video shows Montoya having sex with a woman who looks to possibly be dead.
Hmm.
It then fades to black before it shows a wall and a bed. In the background of the video are noises that police believe to be Montoya tearing duct tape and opening a plastic bag. They believe this was Montoya getting the body ready to be disposed of.
Right. Gross.
Yeah. A third person of interest was a local photographer and businessman, Ron Irwin, who had several properties that were searched in Joplin, Missouri. They also took tens of thousands of photos from the man, but he was eventually cleared as a suspect. And then we get to the real, I don't even know what to call it. In 2014, Joseph Blay came on investigators' radar. Well, technically, he had been on their radar as he had interacted with law enforcement 130 times between 1990 and 2009.
Jesus.
19 years, 130 times. It's fucking insanity. Blee was called the middle school rapist because he would break into the homes of girls aged 13 to 15 who lived near McKinley Middle School in Albuquerque and rape them. He is also believed to be responsible for the death of a sex worker in 2015. His DNA was found on the waistband and belt of a woman found dead on Central Avenue. He also had a stash of women's underwear and jewelry that his daughter found, and his wife called into the police. Yeah.
What the hell?
My daughter's gonna be calling the cops to have me arrested if we found a stash of jewelry and women's underwear from my husband because I'm gonna stab him in the fucking leg and ask him what the fuck he's doing, and then I'm gonna keep stabbing until he tells me what the fuck he's been doing.
Right.
Um, he would be sentenced to 36 years in prison in 2015 for the rape cases. The victims included two teenagers and nine adults, one of which was 22-year-old Gina Michelle Valdez, who was 4 months pregnant. One of the teenagers, 15-year-old Jamie Barella, was not a sex worker but was found buried near her cousin, 27-year-old Evelyn Salazar. They had disappeared in 2004 when they went walking to a local park.
Mm.
The one non Hispanic victim was 15-year-old Sil- like, Solania Edwards. She was the only victim from outside of New Mexico and the only black victim found at the site.
Mm.
Solania was a runaway from Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, who was last seen with three sex workers in Aurora, Colorado in May of 2004. Other victims are Monica Candelaria, 22. In 2003, her friends had told police they heard a rumor she had been murdered and buried in West Mesa. Obviously, this turned out to be true. Victoria Chavez, 26, would be the first victim to be identified. Virginia Cloven, 24. This poor girl. One brother was murdered in high school, and her other brother ran away soon after. She had been living with her boyfriend when he was struck by a car and was in a coma.
Mm.
Virginia could not afford to live on her own and ended up homeless.
Jeez.
Cinnamon Elks, 32. She would be the third victim identified and was friends with Julie, Michelle, and Victoria. Doreen Marquise was 22. Doreen was a mother to two daughters and had only been using drugs the last year or so before she disappeared. Julie Nito, 24. Julie had one son, and 2 years after she went missing, her sister Valerie was found dead. Their mother said Julie's disappearance had been hard for Valerie, who became very depressed. Veronica Romero, 28, was a mother to 5 children when she went missing. The sad truth is, with these women being sex workers, it is a lot easier for this killer to get away with his crimes. These women may sometimes go days, weeks, months without speaking to their families, so it took a while for people to realize they were missing. We do know that these murders happened between 2001 and 2005. We know this because satellite images from this area that were taken between 2003 and 2005 show tire tracks leading to the burial site.
Hmm.
Sadly, by the time the burial site was found, construction had erased any evidence they could use. Those same images would also show small spots of disturbed earth. Even more disturbing is that as time goes on, the images show more and more patches of disturbed earth.
Hmm.
Sadly, their remains did not give much evidence of what happened to them either. According to law enforcement, there is no evidence that the women had been shot or they had suffered blunt force trauma. It is possible the women were strangled, but due to how long they were underground, it is hard to tell. And that's why I said, I mean, it could have possibly been a woman. Typically, women are more like,
Almost sounds like two different people.
could have been. Could have been. Kind of crazy. I get multiple fucking serial killers working at the same time. Actually, it's terrifying, and I don't want to think about it.
Right.
But women usually, typically, women serial killers are poisoners, and if they've been buried for 8, like 5 to 8 years, then you're not going to have much skin tissue to test
Right.
to do a tox screen on. So, but I don't know. The Montoya guy, he seemed pretty suspect.
Sure.
He definitely seemed like one that was probably up to no good out
Yeah.
there. Um, and that is about all we have for this case. With certain laws that are currently in place in New Mexico, investigators have not been able to upload DNA from Montoya to test against DNA found on the victims.
Hmm.
So, this is something like unless you have been charged with a crime, they cannot take your DNA after you've been killed or some shit like that. But the department is backing legislation to change that.
Sure.
Till then, it's a waiting game.
Yeah.
If anyone has any information about this case, they are urged to contact the 118th Street Task Force at 505 768 2450 or Crime Stoppers at 505 843 STOP. So, Bill, what do you think of the West Mesa bone collector?
Well, like I said, it almost sounds like two different people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there's like two murderers.
What exactly makes you think it's two different people?
Like, I think the one guy, the Montoya guy, was definitely going there to bury that chick.
Right.
But I don't know if, he might have like known about it and then just was like, okay, well, I'll do it too.
Maybe he like knew the person.
Right. Like maybe he knew somebody who was killing these girls and then like accidentally killed one himself and then was like, well, I'll just go bury there too. That way it'll be on that guy or whatever. I don't know.
So you think Montoya had something
might
to
have
do
been a
with
bunch
it,
of people.
but may not have. Do you think he like?
It might have been a group of men just like, oh, well, we can kill these girls.
Well, do you think they stopped, got locked up, or died, or do you think they're still out there?
They're probably still out there.
That's a terrifying thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
That somebody is still just running around out there.
I think once the Montoya guy got dead, that whoever saw it and was like, nope, I gotta stop doing that.
I wonder if they just moved.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think that's what most of them would probably do anyways. If they are in an area where they feel like they're going to get caught and the noose is tightened around their neck, they're like, well,
time to move.
Time to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate the thought that somebody's just out there. I'm never letting our child leave our sight. Ever.
I mean, it's just a theory. Like, I don't know for sure.
I mean, we don't know. He could be dead for all we know. They could be rotting in prison, but as far as I know, I think they figured out who the Zodiac killer was.
That's just the feeling I get from all of that.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
It's definitely creepy.
It's very creepy, and I hate it a lot because there's a lot more desert out in Arizona.
Mystery person killing
or New Mexico. There's a lot of desert to be had out in New Mexico. So they could have they might still be there. They could have just moved.
I don't know, maybe. And then
like moved dumping grounds.
Also, half of me thinks like they wanted to be found. Because, like, why bury it in somewhere where there's people when there's miles of desert out there?
Well, the thing is, they didn't start burying it. When they started burying it, it was just open desert.
Yeah.
But in 2006, they started building out there. Right. So this person started in like 2001. 5 years later, developers started, let's build out here in the middle of the fucking desert where there's no goddamn water for anybody. And now we got to go dam up a fucking river and make a goddamn lake and flood this little fucking town so we can build some condos. Y'all don't even get me started. Sorry. Shit pisses me off. We're dealing with that around here.
Yeah.
Lots of fucking condos popping up everywhere, and it pisses me off because we can't afford to live in those damn things.
Yeah.
Nobody around here can afford to live in that shit. Anyways, that is
also, data centers suck.
A story for a different day. Rob your local data center. Shoot your local flock cameras.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, we hope you guys have a good week. We hope you stay safe, and we will see you guys later.
Be kind to each other.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.